Hi, today on the Effortless Handyman, we're going to work on replacing some drywall. I'm going to show you how to repair drywall, how to cut new drywall, fit it in to the hole that's been made, mud it up, tape it up, make it nice and smooth, and no one will tell the difference once you paint over it if you're able to match the color of the existing paint. So let's get right to it. Here you can see the problem we have with our wall. We have a fairly large hole over here, and notice that it's by the corner. So I'm going to show you how to work drywall around a corner. Now, a lot of people like to use corner beading, but we think that that's probably just a way to make more money off you. We're not going to use corner beading. We're going to meet the drywall right at the corner, tape it and mud it, and it's going to look great. Now, this damage extends beyond this stud here and comes all the way over and across and out to, you see the light socket here, making things even more fun. And even we see that the tape or the paper on top of the drywall has been peeled as well. So that's just a little too much difference for us to be able to mud over smoothly, and so we're going to replace all this drywall as well. Now, how did this damage get here? Well, it doesn't really matter. You've got to fix your drywall, right? In this particular case, this was, as you can hear the echo from the drums in here, this is where my son Matthew does his drumming and works off some of his frustrations. And, he was down here working off those frustrations with a couple of friends the other night. And one of the things you want to do is clean your area before you start working, of course. And I asked Matthew if he would clean this, and well, as you can see, he hasn't quite gotten around to it, but we want to fix the drywall, so we're going to just push this all out of the way and get to work. Now, I've gone out to one of the local big box stores. I won't mention them. We won't do any plugs here. And I bought some of this drywall. And drywall's fairly inexpensive. This cost me about $8 for the full sheet. We don't need anything like the full sheet. But they won't sell it to you cut up into smaller pieces, so you have to pay for the full sheet and carry it out. Try to somehow get it into your car. And anyway, let's get that thing out of here. And we're going to cut this up to fit, but first, of course, we have to measure. And you know what we say around here: measure 3 times. You don't have to cut it all. So we have our tape measure. We have an index card. I always like to write down the measurements on index cards. And we have a pen. Now, make sure you always have a pen and an index card in your pocket whenever you're doing any kind of repair work, because you're always going to have to measure something. All right, now, let's just see how wide this hole is. And it should be 18 inches from stud to stud, or someone wasn't doing their job when they built the house. And sure enough, 18 inches from the center of one stud to the inside of the other. I guess that's what it's supposed to be. I know it's 18 inches is supposed to be the distance. So the hole, they did a number down here, extends all the way to, I assume there's a, nope, that's drywall. That's busted up drywall. There's another stud right here. So we're going to work from the center of this stud all the way to the center of this stud over here, which is about Now, if I can see where that stud lines up, that's, well, I guess that's 44 inches. But we want to be sure. So I'm going to put 44 down here, and then if I'm wrong, I'll cross it out. 44 inches. And we have our stud finder. If you don't have one of these, you better get one, because the stud finder tells you exactly where the stud is behind the drywall. Now, if you've got a real mess like this, you can see some of the studs. But we need to nail into the stud that's over here. See if you can see this. And I know it's in here somewhere, but I want to know exactly where. So the stud finder is pretty simple to use. We just turn it on, set it up against the wall, turn it on. And we move slowly across the wall and wait. It should go off soon. And there it is. That tells me the edge of one stud is right over here. Let's do that again. No. Right there. So, right, I guess, in the middle of the stud finder. Right there. And that looks about where the stud is here that I can feel. And then the instructions on the back of this say to run it back the other way and find out where the other end of the stud is so that you can find the center. But we know these studs are about, we measure this out. Well, we've got a tape measure, don't we? It's about 1 3/4 inches. So 1 3/4 inches from this. And if I can hold my hand still, well, you don't want to do it with a shaking hand. And in fact, this is a good time to note that these tape measures very often have a lock. So you just press down that little button. Yellow button here, could be a different color on yours. I don't know. That could make them of many colors. It doesn't matter what the color is. What's important is that you're able to hold that tape measure out at a certain distance, and you can start using just one hand. Now, from end to end, we said it was it's about 1 3/4 inches. That's right, and so that would be over to right in the middle of the outlet, and that doesn't seem right, does it? I think I got it about 1.5 inches. It's tough to reach. Let's just remove some of this. There we go. And boy, oh boy, that's well, that's about 1.5 inches. Now 1.5 inches is still right into the gosh darn outlet. And well, I'll tell you what, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put some nails in right about here. There's a nail right there. We know we're doing the right thing here. Now, before we put any nails in, of course, we have to put the new drywall up, which means we have to get this stuff out of here. I showed you me taking some of the drywall off with a hammer. We don't use a hammer. What you want to use is this. This is a drywall knife, or a knife, or whatever you want to use it for. And it opens up like this. You want to be careful with these because these are razor sharp. And this one looks like, yeah, it's had, as you can see there, the tip has been busted right off of it. And don't know how. I didn't do it. Somebody gets into my stuff. Anyway, that's okay because these come with empty chambers where you can keep a number of blades. So we'll just pull out this old one, and in fact we're going to turn it around because it's double-sided. And it looks like this is the last blade. I thought I had a few more than that, but okay. Put this into place, snap this down that way. And it didn't work. Just, you want to make sure you get it in there firm because you don't want a loose razor sharp blade on the job. And there we go. Doesn't look like it's quite lined up. Okay, there we go. We've got the knife all set. You should see. Now, we're going to mark out the spaces of the drywall that we're going to cut. So let's do that. And to do that, you're going to want a straight edge. And mine's out in the garage, it occurs to me. So, you know, better to use the right tool than to rush things and make some sort of mistake. So I'm going to go to the garage.